Pauline Fromer, your chance to talk to the publishers of the nation's best-selling travel guide series. Whether your travel destination is around your corner or any corner of the world, the Fromers will help you get the most out of your travel experience and save you money at the same time. And now, Arthur and Pauline Fromer.
And this is the travel show in which we talk about vacations. Welcome. I'm Arthur Fromer.
And I'm Pauline Fromer.
And in the time ahead, we're going to be talking about travel.
And that's a conversation we always like to broaden. We love to get questions from our listeners. Sometimes we bring on our listeners as experts because the people who listen to the travel show are avid travelers. So how do you get in touch with me? A couple of ways. You can either email me at fromertravelshow@yahoo.com. You can reach out on social media. Just look for the word Fromers, F-R-O-M-M-E-R-S, on Pinterest, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. Or best of all, come visit us at fromers.com. That's our website, and it's a great place, even if you're not reaching out. If you're planning your next vacation, this is journalistic, up-to-the-minute, great information, and you're going to find lots of good stuff there, including a recent article I wrote about overtourism and how it will affect your next vacation.
And overtourism, to define it, means the overcrowding of certain popular destinations during high season periods. Places like Barcelona, places like Venice, places like the Cinque Terre, that just get too many people, making life there unpleasant, not simply for the tourist, but for the resident as well.
Well, looking at it from the point of view of the resident, now governments are getting into the act, and they're enacting regulations that it's very helpful for tourists to know about. The most recent one threw me for a loop because it's for the Taj Mahal in India. The government of Agra, the city of Agra where the Taj Mahal is, has decided that the Taj Mahal is seeing too many people, and so they are now going to start issuing online timed tickets, and they are imposing an amount of time that you can actually stay on the site. They're going to kick you out if you try and spend more than 3 hours at the Taj Mahal. I don't know why anybody would. I think you can see it easily in less than 3 hours. But the thing that really blew my socks off was the fact that if you show up late, they're not going to allow you in. They're taking the time tickets. This is a country. I've traveled through India several times. I have never been on a train there that left on time or arrived on time. But apparently the government of Agra is trying to do what the rest of India can't, which is be on time. So if you are going to India, it's going to be very important to get these time tickets. We don't know if they'll sell out. My guess is they will. And so, you want to see the Taj Mahal in person. It really is a glorious sight. You really actually want to see it either at sunrise or at sunset, when the setting sun or the rising sun colors the brilliant white marble. I mean, it's an extraordinary sight, but you want to get advance tickets. Another place you're going to need advance tickets for, it looks like, the Louvre in Paris.
Oh my, what a difficult development.
Just a couple of weeks ago, the staff of the Louvre felt that conditions at the museum had become so crowded that they were now unsafe. And so, being French, they waged an instant strike. The staff of the Louvre shut down the museum. People who had been waiting early there to get in before they just shut it down. It was closed for a day and a half. And it looks like from now on in, to ensure that you get to go to the Louvre, you will now have to get advanced tickets. They haven't officially announced this yet, but it looks like looks like it's on the horizon that we talked to our Paris author, and we're putting that advice in the book to
and
get.
Of course, the answer is to go there during low season. You
Yes.
don't encounter those crowds if you're there in November. If you're there in November through February, let's say, but starting in March and heavily in April, it is simply heavenly, or I don't want to use the word. It is god awful to try to visit the Louvre.
Yeah, no, it's tough. I was there in spring of last year with my daughter, and to try and see the Mona Lisa, it was crazy. I couldn't get within 20 feet of her just because there was such a massive, never moving crowd of people in front of me, most of them with their hands above their heads, their camera phones at the ready to take a picture of the Mona Lisa. So you couldn't even really see over their heads because everybody had their cameras out. And the Mona Lisa, if you've ever seen it, is not that big. So, yeah, a real shame. Now, one of the biggest villains in these battles over tourism are cruise ships. And a couple of weeks back, in an incident that shocked the world, an MSC ship slammed into a dock in Venice, and this caused great upset. It damaged a river cruise ship, and it kind of revitalized the battle that's been simmering for years in Venice to fully ban cruise ships from that city. My guess is that will happen in the next year, but it's not the only place that's happening. Santorini in Greece is limiting the number of cruise ships. Bruges in Belgium has just announced that it is going to be handing out fewer licenses to river ships that dock nearby. They feel that Bruges is getting overwhelmed with tourists, mostly from cruise passengers. And the island of Mallorca, off the coast of Spain, it's a Spanish island, they too are going to be limiting the number of cruise ships that they accept. As well, if you've ever been to Barcelona, we were talking about that as an example of a place that gets overcrowded. One of the biggest parks in the city is the Parc Güell. It was a major portion of it was designed by the famous modernist designer Antoni Gaudí. And it's absolutely gorgeous. There's a lot of, oh, Dad, what's it called when you have shards of ceramics and pottery put in cement as a design? Do you know?
I don't know the word.
What is the
Pauline.
word? Well,
I've seen that, but I don't know the word.
What's
for
the
it.
word? Okay, well, they have that all over the place, and it's absolutely gorgeous, as well as some structures that were built by Gaudí himself. It really looks like a magic fairyland. It's a big park. It's 6% of the size of the city, but because that park is getting too overcrowded, would you believe, Dad, they are now issuing tickets to get into Parc Güell?
Well, oh, isn't that incredible?
Even though it's a massive, major public park. So it's something you need to look for.
And all of us are going to have to make certain that we travel in off-season periods from now on. The over-tourism is such a problem, but it is a problem that is encountered during the summer high season.
Primarily.
And it can be avoided by traveling off-season.
Yes, absolutely. And going to places that are considered secondary destinations. So, for example, if you're thinking of going to Barcelona, spend some time in Girona. Girona is this gloriously well-preserved medieval city. It's about 45 minutes from train from Barcelona. It gets a fraction of the tourists, and yet it has one of the most important hanging tapestries in all of Europe in the gorgeous cathedral there. It has ancient Roman baths. It has these wonderful, narrow medieval alleyways that you can get lost in, as well as a restaurant called Celar de Can Roca. that stupidly I tried to get into at the last minute, not realizing it had been named the best restaurant in the world that year by the people who do the 50 best restaurants list. So needless to say, I didn't get in. I called up. I said, can I sit at the bar? And they're like, no, we don't do that here at the best restaurant on the planet. You need advance reservations like 6 months, 8 months in advance. But you have all those wonders in Girona, and yet so few tourists to Barcelona think to take that side trip, and it really will enhance a vacation. So read the article on fromers.com, because I know I went through all these things very quickly. This is a topic that we do cover, and we cover it often because it really can affect a person's vacation, sadly, in terms of needing to get advance tickets. Like, you can't get into the Anne Frank house anymore unless you have advance tickets, and they go on sale 2 months to the day before you visit. All right, we're going to take a break. Don't turn that dial. We'll be right back.